Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is kind of like a more get to know me type of video. I've done a video like this before. If you have not seen my about me, I will link that down below. That will kind of give you like an overview of the most important years of my life and some of the things that I've kind of been through from high school and up to now. I like to talk with my hands for some reason. So if you can't tell by the title of this video is going to be about why I could not finish college. So, shall we get into it? I think we shall. So, in my About Me, I shared that I got pregnant when I was 17 years old, which is extremely young, but we're just gonna pass by that. So yeah, I got pregnant when I was 17. I graduated high school when I was 17 years old. And straight from high school, I had like a 2-week break, and then I went to college. I went to USF in Tampa. I was studying chemistry. That was my major because I am a science geek. Chemistry, physics, I'm all about that. I love it. So I did not know whenever I first started my summer session at USF that I was pregnant. I did not know why I was acting crazy because the whole summer, June, July, all of that, and a little bit of August, I did not want to be there at all. I was so excited to go to college because I wasn't really, I wasn't like leaving here with friends or anything like that. I kind of had a terrible senior year. So I was really excited to go away. And, I've never been away from my family. I was going to miss them, of course, but I've never been away. So I was excited to kind of like start a new chapter in my life and, see where it takes me, I guess. See what new interests I was going to find and make new friends and things like that. But it turned out the complete opposite. I mean, when I say the complete opposite, the complete freaking opposite. I had no friends there because all of my, I guess, roommates slash hall mates, I guess you could say, they all were 18 and up. And they all wanted to go out and go to house parties and go to clubs and drink and smoke and do all these things. And I was like, I just want to do homework. First of all, I was 17. I wasn't even old enough to get into any clubs or anything like that. And to be honest, I'm extremely superstitious, and I listened to my mama when she said, "Don't get in the car with everybody." And I was not going to get in the car with everybody because I didn't know these people from Who Shot Billy. I don't even know if that makes sense. I didn't know these people at all. So I was not about to get in the car with these people and go all the way to this place called Ybor, I think, which was like a 30-minute drive, and then they get drunk and everything. I just didn't have time for that. So I was kind of like a loner, not gonna lie. And I remember I would call my sister and call my dad in the middle of the night, or even in the daytime sometimes, and I would be crying. I would want to come home. I would have like panic attacks. I just hated being there. The classes were easy. I had nothing was wrong with the school itself. It's just I hated being there. I didn't really understand why I hated being there, but I was extremely homesick. And there was nothing that was like making me be like, well, I guess it'll all work out. None of that. I had no thoughts of that. So fast forward a little bit, obviously I'm taking a little break between summer and fall because the fall session started on my birthday, which is August 25th. Or actually, it started the day after my birthday, which was August 26th when it started. Pretty sure it was like that, yeah. So between that break was when I found out that I was pregnant. And I guess by this time I was like 5.5 months pregnant, not knowing, but I was not showing, you guys. From when I got pregnant, I guess, up until the time when I found out I was pregnant, I was exactly the same. There was no belly, there was no like anything. I had like a little gut, which is the only way that my dad found out that I was possibly pregnant because he's the one who told me. That's a whole nother story in itself. But besides that, there was nothing else that made it seem or look like I was pregnant. So obviously I had to go back to school. I was taking like 5 or 6 classes my fall semester in 2013. And, everybody knew I was pregnant by this time. Like, when I say everybody, I mean my family and, everybody else who's involved. And I mean, we were taking the steps to prepare for me to have this baby. And I had everything planned out. And my plan was to take the spring semester off 2014, and then I was gonna go back to school and everything like that. I don't know if me being pregnant and like not knowing if that was like psychologically messing my head up back when I was doing my summer session. I'm not sure if that was why I was having those panic attacks. I'm not sure if I knew I was pregnant, but I didn't want to believe that I was pregnant, so I was having panic attacks, or if I was just truly homesick. I have no idea, but I was kind of like okay once fall semester started. I did wake up every single night though at 3 o'clock in the morning to call my sister because I couldn't sleep. For some reason, my body woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning every single night. And I mean, I couldn't really do anything about it. I just kind of sat up. If she didn't answer, I sat up, waited till my class started, and I watched Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I literally watched that whole season on Netflix from season 1 to season, I think, 12 or 14 they had up to that season at that time. So yeah, I mean, everything was fine. I was going to class, whenever I had classes. And we were looking for doctors around the Tampa area or USF area because I did not have a car and I lived on campus. So something that I could like take a taxi or a shuttle or something close by where, it'll be easy for me to travel to. But no doctor in that area was taking new patients, which was extremely unfortunate because I'm pretty far in my pregnancy. I have yet to be seen by a doctor or anybody to do like an ultrasound or anything like that on me. So who knows what could be going on with my baby? Who knows what could be going on with me? Who knows if I have like certain conditions or what? I had no idea at this point. And I kind of didn't really have any other options because, I can't make doctors take new patients. That's just how it goes, whether they take them or they don't, and they weren't at this time. So my family was coming up the weekend of September 14th. I remember this like it was yesterday. And our plan was to go to the hospital. I was going to say that I had stomach cramps. And of course, they were going to find out, oh, you're pregnant, woo. And we were going to find out how far along exactly, the sex of the baby, and anything else that we could find out. And whenever we were going to leave, we were going to go to the Cheesecake Factory, and then we were going to visit some family in St. Pete and everything like that. That did not turn out how we had planned. It was, I don't even think, I feel like the complete opposite is the biggest understatement I could ever say. So we walked into the hospital. We waited for like 30 to 45 minutes or so. And then I went in with my parents to the main like ER area. And I told the lady who is, I guess, I don't know like if she was a nurse or what, but I told the lady, she was like, what are you coming in for? And I was like, oh, I have stomach cramps. So she started feeling on my stomach, and then she asked my parents to step out. And she looked at me while she was feeling my stomach. She goes, you're pregnant, right? And I was like, yeah, I do. And she kind of said it in a sense like she didn't know. She thought like my parents didn't know. But lo and behold, it was more of like a trick on her because we all knew. We were just trying to figure out how far along I was since I couldn't get seen by a doctor. So she told me I was about like 6 months or so. So I was exactly 24 weeks at this point, at this day in the hospital. And so she sent me to get an ultrasound. We found out it was a girl. Yay. She was happy. Well, I don't know if she was happy yet because she was kind of killing me in my stomach. But anyways, she was healthy. So that's all that mattered. She was healthy. I was fine. And yeah, so everything was good. So they rolled me back to the main ER, and the same lady who was working on me, she said that I had an opening in my cervix, like a little opening, and that I was going to have to get like a couple stitches or so. First of all, I was extremely nervous because I hate needles. I hate anything that you have to stitch up or like pin. I'm not about that life. So I was scared because they were going to have to stitch my cervix, which I didn't even know that was possible since my cervix is obviously inside of me. And second, I was a little like, oh, okay, wasn't expecting that because we had literally just left the ultrasound and the lady did not say anything about that. So that was that. But the place or the area that they had to do the stitching was a completely different building from the ER. So me and my parents kind of split up. They went to go and get the car to park closer to the building that I was going to be in. And then the nurses pushed me into the women's pavilion, which is where it was at. And so as soon as I got there, they rolled me in the room, and then, they was like, okay, well, good luck, congratulations to you, and everything like that. And I had a whole new, like, shift of nurses helping me then. So whenever I rolled into the room, it was like chaos all of a sudden, like, came out of nowhere. I have no idea what was going on. I had no idea what happened. It was literally 3 nurses. One was doing an IV, one was giving a shot in my butt, and another one was putting like monitors on my belly. And then I had the doctor. She was telling me, oh, you're dilating, you're about to give birth. And I was like, that's strange, because I thought I was just supposed to get stitches. So I was completely shocked. I didn't know what to do. And I remember all I was asking for was my parents, because I was confused. I was like, it was 2 different highs. Like, we were just fine. Everybody was laughing. Congratulations. Yay. Woohoo. And then the next second, it was like, oh, you're about to give birth. ER attack now. I did not know what to do. I was confused, and I kept asking for my parents. And by this time, I had recently, within like a couple weeks, had just turned 18. So legally, my parents did not have to be in there, or, I was an adult, so they were just going to talk to me. But because I was asking for my parents and I was extremely confused at what was going on, finally they let my parents come in, because my parents had been downstairs waiting and they would not let them in for whatever reason. And I remember my dad, he walked into the room and he saw me crying because I was hysterical at this point. I did not know what was going on. I obviously did not want to have my child 6 months pregnant, and she was like maybe a pound, if that. So he walked in. I remember he put his hands on his hips and he was like, what is going on? Like, those weren't his exact words, because, he was a little upset. But he was basically like, what is going on? What happened all of a sudden? And, they explained it to him that I was about to give birth, and, they have to give me like magnesium sulfate, I think it was, that stops the cervix from dilating and everything like that, which burned like crazy in that freaking IV. Oh, it was terrible. So at this point, further along into the whole day, because we have been here now for like 3 hours or so, completely longer than expected, and we had no idea how long we were going to be in the hospital from this point on. So, continuing on, none of us have eaten because our plan was to eat afterwards. All of us are tired, we're hungry. I'm in the bed, I have like IVs on me and monitors on me. I'm extremely uncomfortable, I'm cold, and I have makeup on that I want to take off. And it was just like this whole big thing. But basically, they were telling me, my cervix was dilating. I think I was like 2 centimeters dilated. And they said that all of the walking that I had been doing from class to class was what was making the baby come down, and what was like tricking my cervix to become dilated. Like, it was time to give birth. So obviously I had to walk to class. I was not like driving or anything. And that's what happened. So my cervix was dilated. I was about to be a mom to a 1-pound baby if they had not stopped it. So I remember the NICU guy, because it was a man, he came in and he like ruined the mood. I mean, the mood was already ruined, but he killed it completely, because his exact words was, he introduced himself and then he goes, okay, so if your baby is born, your baby has a 50% chance of living. If he or she does live, then there's going to be a number of side effects. She could have this, she could have that, and all these other things. There was no like silver lining anywhere. It was just all negative. And that just made me cry even more, because I was like, well, I'm kind of like, my hands are tied. I can't push my child back up there. So I was just kind of praying that, that she didn't come out, because if she did, it was going to be a whole other thing. So that was that. So they didn't really know when I was going to be released from the hospital. The nurses and the doctors, they were just more so focused on getting the contractions to stop, getting my cervix from, becoming dilated anymore. And that was about it. So night one, because I did stay overnight in the hospital that night, was a little rough because I was in pain. My arm hurt from the IV. And I was hungry, and all they gave me was freaking hospital food, which I don't know if any of y'all have ever been in the hospital for more than however long a day or so. Hospital food is the nastiest food that I have ever tasted in my life. And I don't know if I'm just spoiled because I'm so used to like home cooked food and everything like that. But I'm sorry, there is no seasoning, there is no topping that can make hospital food good, because it was the nastiest thing. And I remember I was over here, like I was forced to eat this hospital food, and my parents and my sister, they were over on the couch eating Popeyes and Churches, and I'm like, well, isn't this great? And they could not give me any. The doctors told them that I could not have any outside food until I am discharged from the hospital. And that was a tough night, let me tell you. I was definitely annoyed and pissed off about that. I think that was me. Okay, you're taking a pregnant lady's food away. I'm pregnant. I have to eat. Like, who does that? I can't eat this. It's like cold, and it's like astronaut food. Like, oh, I just can't. I can't. So that was day one in the hospital. So we're moving on to day two. We are 2 doctors down, 7, 8 nurses down, and they have now moved me into a different room. So I'm in a smaller room. I think it was actually the room that moms go to after they give birth. So I still have the IV in me, still have the burning magnesium sulfate in my arm, and I'm still eating hospital food. So there is not really any difference, no change in anything like that. My cervix was still like dilating and everything. So obviously I had to stay in the hospital yet another night. And by this time, since we weren't planning on any of this to be happening, my dad and my sister had to go back to work. So it was just me and my mom. Thankfully, my mom took off to, be with me and everything. But yeah, my dad and my sister had to go back to work. And it was me and my mom. We were just kind of like sitting there and I guess kind of enjoying each other's company. There was obviously TV and stuff, but, it was like a tough emotional time for me, because I didn't want to be there, and I was worried about, I was just scared. I didn't know what could happen. So that was that. In day 3, we're down another doctor, and we're down a whole countless number of nurses, was the day that I finally got to go home. So everything was stitched up right. I didn't have to get stitches, but they did stop my cervix from dilating, thank God. And from that point, the doctor told me that you are on bed rest for the rest of your pregnancy. I am 6 months pregnant. A pregnancy, if not preterm labor, is supposed to last 9 months, sometimes longer, because there are some women who have been pregnant for 10 months. To put me on bed rest for 3 months, I had mixed emotions, because I'm pregnant and I'm in my 2nd trimester. So at this point, all I wanted to do was stay in the bed. Yet, what am I going to do about school? I can't stay in the bed and go to school. So that is what brings me to this video. I had to medically withdraw from USF, which unfortunately for me to medically withdraw, I did have to continue to walk because I had to email my teachers that same day, let them know what was going on, and then there's all these forms that you have to fill out when you medically withdraw, and you have to get the teacher's signature. Obviously, not all of my teachers are going to be in the same area or the same building. So I did have to walk from building to building to building. And I was kind of in pain because, I mean, my baby was sitting extremely low now since I was about to give birth. So I was definitely walking slow. Unfortunately, I did disobey the doctor at this moment, but I had to do what I had to do. So I eventually did medically withdraw from USF. And I came back home to my hometown and I lived with my grandma for about a month and a half or so, which was when we could finally find a doctor who would see me. And I mean, bed rest is no joke, guys. I mean, that was some serious stuff. I was definitely expecting it to be okay and I would, be fine, but I literally had to stay in bed all day, every day. When I took a shower, I had to sit on a chair taking a shower. There was no standing up. There was no like standing on the phone, just talking with your friends. None of that. Bed or the couch all day, every day. The only good thing about that is my grandma took the best care of me in the world. I mean, homegirl threw down in the kitchen about 5 or 6 times a day, in a day, every single day that I was there. So I was definitely eating good. My baby was definitely eating good, and I was definitely gaining weight. So whenever I did go and I was able to see a doctor, they actually told me the complete opposite. I told them everything that had happened in Tampa. I gave them all the like medical forms and everything like that, the doctor's notes and things. And he actually told me that he didn't see anything wrong with my cervix. Now, you would think if I was in the hospital for 3 months and they did not do any stitches or not 3 months, 3 days, and the doctors in Tampa didn't do any stitches or anything like that, so it was nothing to close up my cervix. It was just gonna stay where it was at, and hopefully I didn't dilate anymore. He didn't even see the problem that they saw in Tampa. So he said I was completely fine. I was a high-risk pregnancy, but I did not have to be on bed rest anymore. And I mean, that was basically it. So it left me wondering, like, okay, did this really happen in Tampa? And he just doesn't see, where my cervix is open at or anything like that. Or was the whole thing in Tampa a scam and they were just trying to make money off of me? And, this doctor is telling the truth where he doesn't see anything wrong with my cervix. I have no idea. I can't tell you because I'm not a doctor. Wasn't able to see what they saw. But my dad thinks that Tampa was definitely a scam. He thinks that they definitely were just trying to make money off of me. So that was that. So ever since then, my baby was born exactly when I turned 9 months pregnant on December 15, 2013. She was happy and healthy, she was so tiny. She was like 5 pounds, 10 ounces when we left the hospital. When she was first born, she was 6 pounds and 2 ounces, but she didn't want to eat, so she lost some weight. So yeah, so that was basically it. And ever since then, I have been taking care of her ever since. Well, obviously, but I mean, I have been focusing on her. I have not done any school or anything like that. But not secret announcement, but like a special announcement, I will be starting school this fall. Yay! I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I don't know why I'm not clapping. But I definitely will be starting school this fall. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be online. So I'm not really excited about it being online, but I also don't want to go in person. So I have no options. So that's basically it. Now, that being said, me starting school in the fall, videos will change as for like the upload date and everything like that. But I will let you guys in on that the closer we get to it and whenever I figure it out a little bit more. So that's basically my story, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm definitely going to be doing more story time videos like this. My best friend, she thinks that I should do videos about my life since I've been through like a lot. So you can definitely look forward to more get to know me type of videos. So I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. And follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Pinterest. All that will be linked down below. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.